What is going on, everybody? It's Armstrong back in for another episode of FUT Live, the first FUT Live in about 6.5 months. We're here with the gang. Joey and Felix are both here. We're going to talk about where we've been, what we've been doing with FIFA and not with FIFA, why we haven't been playing FIFA, why we haven't been recording the pod, all that in this episode. We're not going to talk about anything else like current FIFA, what's going on, or FIFA 22. We'll save those for some future episodes, but we just wanted to say we're back and we're here. So, Joey, Felix, how are you guys doing today?
What's up, man?
Not much.
Doing phenomenal.
So, let's start right there. When is... I kind of know the answer, but when is the last time either of you have turned on Ultimate Team and played a game?
Oh man, Felix, you've kind of came back, right? When did you turn it on?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, I'm sat on the menus right now because I'm just trying to buy a silver team that I want to use, but I've really not been playing a lot. The last games I've played was Pro Clubs, which I've been playing a bit of VFL with Alex, the FIFA analyst, and a couple of other content creators and people I know from Twitter and such. That's been pretty good fun, but Ultimate Team wise, I've been a bit on the back burner. Really, I've not played a full weekend league this entire year because I just don't like the game. It's just not enjoyable to sweat it for me. So I just play a few games here and there, but not that many. And yeah, but now I'm in a phase again where I just don't want to play. Like, other than Pro Clubs, I've probably not played in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. So
yeah, I haven't played since November of 2020, like late November, like after Thanksgiving here in America. Haven't even turned on Xbox at all to play any games. I may have booted it up to play like NHL with a few buddies, but other than that, I have not even loaded up FIFA, and that is the first time since FIFA 12. So I've been playing FIFA since FIFA 12. This is the first time I've quit within months of a release, ever. Jeez. So I don't know if it's, maybe I'm just getting older, obviously. Maybe it's a combination of getting older and fatigue of the game, of the same thing every year. The gameplay just not being where I would like it to be from an attacking perspective. Just this year was off for me in terms of Ultimate Team. Like, yeah, I played a crap ton of weekend league, so I could have gotten just burnt out entirely. I mean, there was a few weekends I was doing 60 games, because I had a RTG account, and then I started like just playing 60 games, and then after hitting Elite 1, I just kind of was like, all right, I got my goal and I just don't care anymore, especially after getting like the lessons from or not lessons, the coaching session with Aubrey. That was tremendous. So I got my goal and then just didn't play anymore, man. I just didn't touch the game, just got sick of it.
Fair enough, man. Like, it's just not a good game in my opinion, so I fully feel you there.
Yeah. For me, I've been menu grinding basically daily, just like checking. It's like, especially now with what's going on, obviously it's like the best time to like menu grind right now. So I've been doing that. Probably I have a really good team now because of it. So I actually played a couple Rivals games this week and last week. Probably like only like 3 to 4. But before that, my last weekend league game was, I think, the weekend before Christmas. So kind of like Joey, when Joey stopped, that was like when I stopped playing weekend league. But I've played here and there. But yeah, no. So for me, the same. So I think our last episode was I said January 11th. I was just looking up today. So that was, I'd say probably January 11th was the last time I was like playing like Rivals or squad battles or doing like objective sets. That is kind of why we stopped. I don't want to that was kind of like the first thing I want to talk about why we stopped. All three of us actually stopped playing FIFA. I think even Felix, who was like kind of like been the most consistent weekend league player of the three of us, even stopped playing weekend league around that time, I think. So we didn't feel it was right to, even though like, as long as you're menu grinding, you can understand what's going on in FIFA and talk about it and like give your wish list and all those things. But outside of that, we didn't feel it was right to kind of keep putting out episodes like weekly or bi-weekly when not a single one of the three of us was even playing a single game. So that was kind of why we're there. Like you said, Felix has kind of made a resurgence maybe through VFL and then back on FUT. And I've probably the last month or two have been on the menus and playing like a game or two a week just because I enjoy FIFA. And that's probably most likely we all three of us are in a group DM and stuff like that. So we were talking about the Euros and real life football being like kind of what's brought us back to the game. And that's, again, at the end of the day, what FIFA is like a football simulator. And that's why it's so popular. So I guess that's where I guess we'll start. But like, Joey, have you? We quickly mentioned it, but have you wanted to get back into FIFA because of the Euros? Obviously, we'll give you your 5 seconds to brag about Italy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, I'll be 100% honest. I did have a feeling of making like a full Italian team with all the new, because I saw all the new Italian players that came out with the
festival of football and all
yeah,
that stuff.
they had all those players, and obviously they all got super juiced. So I did have a feeling to come back and just play with them, but then I haven't. I don't like the defensive, I guess defensive like path that Ultimate Team has taken over the past 2 years. It's just been focused on, defense counterattack. So unless it changes, I can't see myself being excited for FIFA 22. But as far as Italy winning, this is crazy. So I've obviously seen Italy win the World Cup. I was much younger. This time, dude, my blood pressure was I couldn't handle the games anymore. And it got to the point after the penalty shootout against England, dude, tears, legit, started crying out of nowhere. I've never experienced that in my life, in any sport and anything. I mean, obviously
Really?
Yes, I've never experienced tears of like a country winning. I like I said, I watched them. I was younger. I'd never cried. This time, just tears started coming. My wife starts laughing at me. She's like, "You didn't even cry when your daughter was born." I'm like, I know.
Like, yeah,
So-
well, that is because you knew it was going to happen.
I get. Well, you know what though? I honestly, and I'm not being biased, I genuinely thought Italy had a very strong chance of winning the Euros. Very strong chance, but everyone doubted them. People were predicting Turkey of beating them, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing on
Mate.
Twitter. I was like, come on.
No, I mean, I didn't have Italy on my list to go all the way at the start before the tourney, just because I looked at the names in the team and I thought, on paper, to me that just doesn't look like a title contender. But
See, that's the opposite of what I thought.
Yeah, but
That's the opposite.
after I've seen them play the first 1 or 2 games, I thought this team is dangerous.
Yeah, I just thought like the previous teams they had too much age, like Pirlo was obviously aging.
Yeah.
There's just bunch of aging players that continue to play. Honestly, I was worried about Chiellini and Bonucci to be the center backs. I was like, I don't know, man, but dude,
No, their experience is
they played and the passes they were pinging, it's unbelievable. Like I've never seen them play that well together. But yeah, it was awesome. That
on Italy to win, so I'm very happy as well. So
nice.
Outside of wanting Poland for Lua, which I knew was not a realistic possibility, I was rooting for Italy the whole time because I had a couple dollars left in my DraftKings account, and they were I thought they were criminally underrated going in. Not that I thought they really had a chance to win necessarily. Like I wasn't fully believing it, but like they were criminally underrated when you compare their odds to Spain, England, and even Germany. Like they were the odds were bad.
Honestly, I don't know how people rated Germany so highly in front of the
same.
Well, before the tournament, I saw so many people like, oh, the Germans, they're good and they're gonna might get to the final, whatever. I was like, have you seen us play the last 5 years? Ever since we've won the World Cup, we've been stinky.
Yeah, all you have really now is like a good midfield.
Yeah, if there was a World Cup where you were only allowed to use centre mids, we're winning the whole thing without even having a problem at all. But the problem is you need defenders and strikers, and well, tough one. That the problem I think isn't even the names we have, like the players. The problem was the style of football we played. For me, it's just too slow and predictable for the most part. But well, we'll see. We got a new manager now. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and you obviously have there's a ton of young German talent. But like going into the tournament, Werner was like in and out of form with Chelsea, not doing well. They'd obviously just won, but like when your main like number 9 is in and out of form, it's not great, and you don't have like a ton of pace to surround him with outside of like Sane. But yeah, no. So I mean, we're not obviously not talking about the Euros a ton, but I think it's important because really the podcast started gaining traction to come back because of the Euros. We had that conversation. I think it was like the quarterfinals or something like that, or the semifinals. We were talking about how the Euros and like watching like real life has kind of made us want to get to the game. And to be fair, if we want to give some credit to EA in terms of content, I think the content surrounding the Euros and just like we were talking about juiced cards, easy to access cards, was actually pretty decent if you followed along, like Summer Stars, Festival Football. There's a ton of fuddies is going on right now. There was a ton of like decent content in the game that matched up with, you know, what was going on in real life, and I think that's when FIFA hits its peak. Like like nothing beats, like, you know, what was it, Festival Football when the World Cup was going on last time.
Yeah.
That was peak FIFA times as well. So that's kind of like what the wheels spinning to, like, let's get back in the podcast because we were just talking about FIFA, but maybe with FIFA 22 coming out, I know Joey will definitely give it a shot. It's impossible. I feel like
100%.
we're now all hooked in, like,
Yeah, no matter
they'll
what.
sell copies.
Yeah.
They'll sell their copies still with us. And I still, obviously I've been like the most casual about the game as a whole since we've started this, and I still do like enjoy it, and I think like SBCs are awesome. And I think like some of the like they've added so many objectives to play for people that want to play like casually and don't want to like play like the try hard modes. They end up being a kind of try hard with the objectives, but they're at least fun to grind for. Like right now, in the game, I know we said we weren't going to talk about too much of the game now, but you got Atal's in the game right now, one of the best cards in FUT history by the looks of it. And he's available to grind for free in squad battles or rivals if you want to do that, if you're not a big squad battles fan. So there actually has been a bunch of good content that's gone like kind of with real life and in the game, and so we're definitely back. We're probably gonna do, I mean, we're not done yet, but like we've been planning the rest of the pod for the summer, and it may not be weekly, it might be bi-weekly as much as we get on, and we kind of just want to do like what I think the question of the summer is going to be, what does FIFA 22 need to have for us to get invested and stay invested? I think that's a question we're going to be answering throughout the next couple weeks before FIFA 22 comes out. We'll definitely have Mr. Aubrey back on again. FIFA analyst, Alex. I'm just gonna say Alex because it's easier. We'll have Lucky back on, who's been on a bunch of times. We'll get all those guys, the people that have been playing VFL with Felix. And we'll kind of ask them the same question. I think that's gonna be like our go-to question for the pod going forward, is what does FIFA 22 need to have to stay invested, or to get you invested at the start and then stay invested throughout the year longer, because that timeline is shrinking every single year we say it. That burnt out timeline has shrunk.
Yeah. But I honestly think that from the rumors, from what I'm reading on Twitter, if they're changing the game modes like it's saying they are on Twitter, I'm very excited for it, because if they're reducing the it's no longer a weekend league, right? FUT Champs is like week long or whatever.
Yep.
So technically, so that's going to be cool, and reducing the amount of games is going to be cool. I've always said, like, I never played FIFA really during the week, and then the weekend I'd play so much that I didn't want to even look at it from Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I think
Division Rivals is the competitive mode now. Division Rivals is what's going to be tying to the ELO for getting to the world, like qualifying for stages,
which is how it should have been from day one. We've been saying this from day one, like from the second weekend league got exhausting for all of us. You know, that's what it was. I actually have a question for Felix.
Go on.
So you stopped playing weekend league like January, right?
Yeah, December, January sometime.
I'm curious. I know what you're probably gonna say, but I'm actually curious. Have you felt a difference in your mood or mental health since saying I'm no longer playing weekend league? Like, I'm done with it. Like, how have you felt during the weekends compared to when you were playing, like stressing out about doing well and all that stuff?
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, you're probably gonna have guessed. I felt a lot more relaxed in that way. I wasn't, I just didn't feel as angry for a lot of the time, because the game makes you angry. For most people, it does anyway. I've had a lot of stuff going on this year anyway so far, so there's been a few ups and downs, FIFA aside. But under normal circumstances, honestly, it's so much better without weekend league, without the stress and without the annoyance that comes with it. I've been much more relaxed. I've been enjoying my time on the game a bit more when I was playing. Not to the point where I want to get back into grinding it or whatever, because I just don't enjoy it that much. But when I got onto the game, it's just been, for a bit of playing football, getting that in, because I can't play myself anymore anyway, like real life football. That chapter is over, sadly. But yeah, just get my football fix in, play a few games here and there, and then when I don't want to play anymore, I just stop. And I don't think like, oh, I have so many games left, I should play on or whatever. Because EA really have you by the balls with the fear of missing out and all that. So it's been a lot better on that front. Yeah, I felt better mental health wise as well in that sense. Like I said, a lot of other things going on that were contributing into that. But it's helped. It's honestly, it's helped taking a step back. It's been good.
Yeah, I think for sure, like Joey had mentioned, it being like a week league or whatever. So like, because obviously part of it is the competitive aspect is not great on mental health. I think that's pretty proven. But also combining that with the shortened time frame. Also, it's weekend, which is supposed to be the time you're supposed to go out and meet friends, which is great for your mental health. So it's like, I think just the state of how it was set up was just all in all a mental health like torture.
Yeah.
And so I think like
instead of just being angry on the weekends, we're just going to be angry all week long.
Yeah, but it's spaced out. It's spaced out, and you might be able to actually enjoy the weekends now. And see people like, because like obviously you barely see people during the week anyways with work and stuff like that. So it's like come home from work, play 2-3 games a day, maybe 4 games or whatever, and you can actually still compete at that level. So you lose the fear of missing out because you're just only playing a couple games a day. And it's also more manageable. So that's the hope. Obviously, not going to be 100% confident that's what it's going to turn out to be. We'll see. We'll probably be like, yeah, it's a week league, but it's 60 games a week or something like that, which then defeats the purpose. But you quickly mentioned it. There's other stuff to the mental health. I wanted to say like maybe this is when we talked about like personally what's been going on too, because I did say like 99% of the reason we stopped in the pod was like none of us are playing, so it kind of felt like disingenuous to talk about FIFA when not a single one of us was like touching the game. Also, all 3 of us have had a lot change, I think, since the last time we recorded. Quick synopsis, and we'll each talk about it. Joey has a second house in Florida.
A second one? I thought you just bought one.
Well, yeah, but he has a house in not Florida as well.
Oh, okay. I
take it easy, guys. I'm not. Yeah, I can't afford 2 houses.
His 7th house. No, I'm kidding.
No. So basically, what we ended up doing is me and my brother-in-law, actually 2 brother-in-laws, we all kind of chipped in and bought a house together. So it's like way cheaper. It's
family
like
vacation home.
Right. It's a family vacation home where we can escape the brutal Chicago winters and kind of go into a nice warm climate in Florida. But it's still being built, but I'm super excited because it'll be ready before winter this year. So we'll be able to hang out there for a few months and then kind of come back to here when it's not freezing cold.
Yep. Yeah, not to be mentioned, obviously the podcast, she was born while we were still doing the podcast, but you have a growing baby. Toddler.
Yep.
I don't even know at this point. How old is she now?
Crazy.
Like,
she's 18 months old.
Crazy.
Time has freaking flown by like no other. I mean, I will admit the first year, guys, was absolutely brutal. Like it was brutal. I mean, my wife and I got zero sleep. Zero sleep.
I was gonna say that.
It was so bad until we finally reached out to somebody who can, because like we kind of did everything the foreign way, if that makes sense. Like basically, because my parents are not from America and neither are my wife's parents. So they raised us like without any resources online, right? They just kind of did what they did. So we were trying to do the same thing. It wasn't working because we didn't have the baby on a routine. So she would stay up until sometimes midnight and then wake up. It was just a mess. So finally we reached out, got her on sleep training. So now she goes to bed like clockwork at 2 p.m. and then 8 p.m. and then wake. Like we actually have time for ourselves. And that just started about 6 months ago. Actually less, about 5 months ago. So we're just now kind of figuring out how to get things in a routine and actually get rest, because the first year was brutal, like literally a few hours of sleep a night.
I've heard, and then you got the terrible 2s coming up, as what I've heard as well. So, but it sounds like you're in a better routine, so you'll probably be fine with that.
Yeah, way better now. We're actually like, it's actually manageable. At one point, we were like, man, I don't even know if I want another kid at this, because my wife wants multiple kids, and I'm thinking to myself, no way, we can barely handle one right now. But as of right now, everything's a lot better. We just had her baptism a month ago because of COVID, pushed everything back since all the banquets were closed and churches weren't allowing more than like 10 people in or anything. So she just got baptized. It's just been things are finally looking like back to normal in the US for the most part, but I don't know. Time will tell with what happens.
If you're thinking about children, I think there is 3 correct numbers for the amounts you can have. That is 0 if you don't want any at all, which is completely fine. That then is 2 because it's
Yep.
always nice for a kid to have a sibling. And the third number that is acceptable is 11 because then you could field your own football team.
Yeah, that's
See,
fair.
my wife wants
You know, get
my
the
wife
neighbors'
wants
kids in
3.
the subs or whatever. Oh, fuck off! I'm getting a vasectomy after the second one.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
gonna
want to as
secretly
well.
do that. I'm gonna secretly go get a. I'm like, yeah, sorry, can't have kids.
Can you not just tell her, look, I've got 2 testicles. I can only make 2. How do you think that works?
I'll try that.
Try and make something up.
Joey's lucky he'll have twins next, so that'll be fun.
Oh no, dude, it's been rough. You guys will eventually get there. You'll see.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
so
if you accidentally have twins or triplets or whatever, I've got a spare bedroom in the basement if you need it.
All right, just fly into Germany.
but yeah, no, moving on, Felix, you've had a lot going on as well. You are now a homeowner. You live
Sort of, yeah.
you live on your own now, I should say.
Yes.
So how's that been? How's that, like, where are you at with that process?
I found an apartment. Like, I've been looking for a couple of years, and you know the real estate market is a little bit difficult over here in terms of just the amount of apartments or houses or whatever that are on offer, and then also the prices. So either you pay a fortune or you live in a shithole, pretty much, and then you still got to be quick because there is about 20 people interested per
What the
apartment.
hell? It's the same thing in Europe as well.
Yes,
It's literally worldwide. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Why?
it is.
I don't understand.
I think it has a lot to do with there being more and more single households, like myself now. I think that plays a major factor, and then I don't know, but it's just not enough being built or not fast enough or whatever. And with more single households, more people looking for apartments, especially in bigger towns and cities where people work, you know, the demand is huge. And you just can't satisfy it. Whereas when you look in smaller villages in the countryside or whatever, it's a bit easier there. But especially for young people, most of them are not looking to move there because it's just so far away from everything. I personally don't mind living in a village or whatever. I've grown up in a village; it's nice there. I like the very familiar atmosphere, and everyone knows who each other is. You know, you say, you know, you greet each other in the streets when you see each other in the morning, in the evening, whatever. You just know who the people are. I think that is quite nice. That it's like it's kind of like a big family, if you get me. In some of the villages, but the city has its advantages as well. I wouldn't want to live in the city center in like a fucking massive apartment complex with people I don't even know the name of. I don't like the anonymity of that, and I don't know. The city is hectic, isn't it? The countryside is a bit more laid back, slowed down, and everything. So yeah, well, that just on a side note, but I live in a small house now that I've rented from the company I work for because you know they own houses. It's a massive company. They own houses and rent them out to employees. So with a bit of trickery, I want to say, and knowing the right people, I got my hands on one. So I live there for rent now, which is really nice. I mean, I've shown the guys pictures. There is a couple pics on Twitter as well for you know for you guys that are interested. If you want to have a look what it looks like. It is in the city now, which is funny because I literally just said I don't like the city that much. But the street here or the couple of streets, this neighborhood, it is like in a village because everyone knows each other. You know, the neighbors sit outside in the streets in the evening having a couple of drinks together and stuff. It is really a nice atmosphere here. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. I found out as well. I do enjoy furniture shopping. Really interesting walking around, looking at all the things you can get, and
It's awesome.
getting ideas what you want to do with your apartment. It's difficult to imagine it standing there, how it would look like, and what would fit, and finding out what your taste is. But yeah, I've been enjoying that. The bit I've not been enjoying is the paying.
Yes.
Stuff is expensive, man. It's terrible. I'm all out of money. This move has cost me like 10 grand so far. I've bought bedrooms, couches, TVs, kitchens, and And I still want so many more things. I don't have any carpets. I don't have any lamps. I've just got like light bulbs that are screwed into the thingies.
Mhm.
I don't have proper lamps. Still need that. I need some stuff for the bathroom. Some, I've been enjoying house plants a lot, which I never thought I would, but I get a lot of enjoyment when they don't die.
Yeah,
Quite nice.
yeah.
And
Um,
yeah, just getting my bits and bobs together, and then obviously, apart from that, when did I move in? I signed the contract in March. Then I've been just painting and doing stuff through all of April, and I moved in middle of May. So
Mhm.
it's been about 2 months now, a bit more. And yeah, that aside, I found a new job as well, which has been
I was about to say
exciting.
let's
Yeah.
let's not skip over the job. The job was recent news on Twitter as well, so it's okay to talk about.
Yeah,
That's been recent move, so that's been awesome. Something you've been talking about probably on this. I think you probably mentioned on this pod over the last couple of years that you've been trying to get out
mate,
of that.
I've been trying to leave since day one. Like I just wasn't enjoying it. I didn't like it, but there just wasn't any opportunities opening up. And then now again, with knowing the right people and talking to the right people, I found a new job that I'm gonna start September 1st within the same company. It's just a new unit or department basically. But yeah, I'm excited for that. It's been a long time coming. It's been done and dusted in the bag for a couple of months now. So
Mhm.
I've got 2 more weeks to work. Then I'm off for the rest of August, and then I start September 1st.
Awesome.
So yeah, big news there as well. That's two of the big three things done for me. The only thing
Yep,
left is
and the last thing is he has a girlfriend. No, wait, never mind. Just kidding.
nah,
Let's not lie to people.
No.
um,
Maybe next year.
that was a low blow. That, to be fair, but I'm working on it. It's just proving to be rather difficult. Let's just put it that
Yeah,
way.
miracle work has not been done since last
I
time we
don't know
recorded.
if I've said it on the podcast. I've said it on Twitter as well. I was taking interest in a goal I've seen at work. We had a date end of last year, but didn't go that well for me. So yeah, I've been feeling a bit down about that for quite some time actually, longer than I thought I would be. But is what
But
it
you
is.
got a bachelor pad now, so
Huh?
I said you got the
Yep.
bachelor pad now. That's probably an American term, but basically when a guy lives alone, they call it a bachelor pad.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
so
mean, then well, yeah, we're working on that. It's not proving to be easy at all, but eventually, hopefully.
yeah. And then for me, I bought a house. Cup. We've been here now like a month and a half, roughly.
I loved
Mhm.
how casually you just said up.
Well, we yeah. Yeah, well, we've been looking since like I think we started looking a little bit right after we last recorded because we started like end of January, early February. We started house hunting. Like Felix said, the housing market's been crazy. Where we were, it was just impossible to find anything in our price range that wasn't like small, like tiny with no land. We started spreading our search. We actually ended up back almost by where we grew up. We're like 5-10 minutes out of the town we grew up in, so it's been kind of cool. I've been seeing a lot of people like that I went to high school with. But yeah, so we bought that. It has a ton of land. It's like 2.5 acres. It's perfect for me because I just love running around like outside, get the ball. There's literally like I think someone commented on Twitter. I think it was Ty J Main. He's like, looks like you can fit like a full pitch in the backyard, and it's if you measure it out, it's close. It's not a full pitch, but
Yeah, you
because
got a
the
lot
hills.
of land. It looks so cool out there. You
Yeah,
have
it's
so
it's
much
kind of
land.
it's a little hilly. We got a pool. And then we
Oh,
just
nice. You got a
2
little
weeks
dog.
2 weeks ago we just bought a dog. Rescued a dog. She's a year and a half, a little over a year and a half. Birthday was she was born November 2019. Um,
Still very
2019?
young.
Yeah, 2019. So yeah, she's like a year and 8 months, I think, something like that. Whatever that is, the math it's hard. So yeah, so she's awesome. She's like so well trained. She's so well behaved. She was just abused, of course, because it's a rescue dog, and so she's a little bit afraid to meet new people.
Oh wait,
But she's
when you say well trained, like did you have any housebreaking issues, or was it
no,
peeing all over the place?
nope, nothing.
Really?
So yeah, so they actually for her because she was a year and a half. She was a little bit younger than a year and a half when they got her.
Mhm.
I think they got her like in December. She was just tied up to a tree outside of a vet. Of course, classic scumbag people. But they have like a trainer the rescue works with, and they put a lot of money and had her trained, so she knows like literally if we have a treat, she sits, puts up a paw, then does the other one, then lays down, and will
Oh
like
man,
run around,
that's
do whatever.
so nice.
And she's been here. She sleeps in her bed with us because my girlfriend said no way she sleeps in the bed. She sleeps right between us. It's so awesome. And she doesn't go to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom 3 times a day, like outside on walks.
Dude, that's so big because when we got our puppy, our dog,
Yeah.
that was the hardest thing is trying to housebreak them because they were stubborn, man. The little puppies are stubborn.
Yeah. So when I moved out, my parents got a dog, and then they got a second dog like 2 years ago. And both times that was the number one thing, like pee pads, and stuff like that to train them to go outside because then you start moving outside. But yeah, she is so well behaved. It's crazy. She was just like abused, so she's just a little bit shy of people. But outside of that, she's like the best. So I'm so happy because like that was like the number one reason I want to buy a house was so I could buy a dog. So
How do you manage the taking care of it in terms of going for walks and stuff? Because I mean, you probably work from home a lot, I imagine.
yes, both of us do. Both my girlfriend really only goes in like once a week, and then I go in about twice a week at most.
Okay, fair.
So one of us is usually home, and if not, like my work's about 30 minutes to home, which is like up here is like considered a short drive. So I can go home at lunch and stuff like that and take her out if I need to. But it hasn't really come up yet because one of us has been home every single day.
I mean, if you can talk to each other and change it up so someone's at home every
That's basically what we've been
at all
trying to do.
times,
Yeah.
yeah, then it's all right. That's the biggest worry I have because I'd like to have a dog. I don't think I ever will because I've just never had a dog in my lifetime and I'm not experienced
Mhm.
in that, so I think it might be especially difficult then. But I just don't have the time because I'm at work all day. I could go home. I don't live far from work, but it's just going to be a bit stressful and all that because you need to train the dog and all that stuff in it.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, like we were saying, I think I don't know. I don't think we hit record yet, but I was asking if you think you're watching your mom's cat, right?
Yeah.
To coming up in August. So I was asking if you think about getting a cat, which cats are obviously way more independent, and can do stuff. So that'd be good though. Yeah. So that's a
Yeah,
little bit
I
easier for
love
like a
cats
single
as well.
person or some by themselves.
All my life, since I can remember, we've always had a cat, so that's gonna be easy for me. Just train it to shit in a litter box when it can't go outside, and should be good.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to teach them that. To be fair, they just find that place by themselves, and that looks nice, feels nice under my paws. Let's just dig a bit of a hole and do the deed and move on. That's never been a problem for any of the cats we owned, which is crazy because I've heard people say, "Oh, they're fucking pooping under the couch and on the carpets, and it's been a mess," but
Hmm.
never had any problems.
Yeah. So that's kind of been what all three of us have been going for. And I started a new job actually as well. Around the same time as I got the house, just because it's closer. A job there, so I've been doing that. So we're kind of fully. I think we're fully all settled in right now. Maybe when Joey's house is finished, he'll be recording from the Florida sun and making Felix and I jealous.
Absolutely.
We're just gonna we're gonna like start doing video podcasts, something like that, and he's just gonna be sitting by the pool.
Yep.
Robbing it in as well. I thought you were gonna make a permanent move to Florida, but now you're saying it's just a vacation.
It depends how like we like it out there, really.
Oh yeah.
The biggest thing stopping us is family being here. So that's, it's kind of hard just like leaving. We've got obviously my mom and dad are in Michigan, which is not too far, but all my aunts, uncles are here. My entire wife's family's here. So just picking up our bags and just leaving is not really ideal.
Yeah,
When you say in Michigan and it's not that far,
Yeah.
what's that in terms of kilometers?
It's about, I don't know in the kilometers, but in terms of mileage,
miles.
I would say about 300 to 400 miles.
And you say
It's
that's not
it's
that
about
far.
it's a 4 hour drive if we ever wanted to go up there.
Yeah, it's crazy the dimensions that I always forget just how massive the United States is.
Yeah.
Because over here, like 300, 400 kilometers, that is almost half the country.
If I were to say, for example, if I were to say like California from here, that's far. Like you can't driving there's
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like half an hour to work is relative. Like for me, where I'm from, like half an hour to work is not a drive at all. But I know like people like especially in Europe are like got to be like within 10 minutes and stuff like that, or like a quick train ride or something.
Right.
But yeah, all of the stuff's expanded. Like you said, like a 3-4 hour drive is nothing to go see family. That's what I was doing like 2 hours to see my family. Now I'm like 20 minutes away.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, my most of my family in terms of aunts and uncles are about 10 minutes away, and then wife's family is a few minutes away. So I mean, moving to Florida is probably, yeah, we'll see. I mean, depends how much we like it. If we really like it that much to the point where we want to move there permanently, then we might look for another. But the housing market right now just wouldn't be smart.
Florida's boomed like crazy too, because people are all moving down there because it's cheaper.
The house we ended up, well, are about to purchase and close on, has already, if we were to flip it the next day that we were to buy it, I think it's up already, I think 40% from what we bought it.
Jesus.
And that's in 4 months.
Yep.
It's insane. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I've been trying to convince my brother-in-law. I was like, dude, forget it, man. Just wait till the market just drops and buy another one. But they're all saying that the market's never going to drop because Florida just boomed.
It's going to be a while at least, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
think so too.
With you guys in the US, it's a bit more extreme than over here, but I don't see it dropping over here either anytime soon. It's gonna take a while. It's probably like, we've had some similar situations where it's just a bubble that is gonna burst at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happened in was it 2008 here, Joey?
Yeah. The
2008 market
crisis happened.
Yeah.
But it might be a similar situation. But for the foreseeable future, I don't see that happen. Which is crazy to think, because it is so expensive to buy a house, build a house, whatever. If you buy it, just the land here, in the little village where I grew up, where my dad still lives, right on the outside of the thing, they're building new houses, and if you want to buy just the piece of land where you get your house with a garden, it's got a nice view into the little mountains and the castle. It's really nice location. Fucking 300 grand gone just for the land, and then you've not built anything. So when you buy that, one of the better spots, you buy that, build a proper house on it, million is gone by the time you're done. Mental.
Yeah, where the town my apartment was in, I'm looking here. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment for sale. It's on a golf course or whatever. It's $439,000 for 1,800 square feet. Which is decent, but it's an apartment at the end of the day.
I just need to do the conversion quick, because what did you say?
1,800 square feet. Yeah.
1,800 square feet. What is that? I need to know what. 167 square meters.
Yeah,
that's pretty big.
It's a big apartment for sure, but I bet you'd be on like a second floor or whatever. Like you wouldn't have like the whole house to yourself. And it's like $450,000 or whatever I said it was.
How many square feet do I have in this here? Just inside, because I've got a little terrace as well.
Yeah, this has no yard or anything.
It's about 800 just inside.
Yeah.
Square feet, which is 75 square meters.
Yeah, so the housing market's crazy. But is there anything else that we need to talk about FIFA-wise? Like I said, this is gonna be a short episode. We're gonna come back either next week or the week after. Not for the summer, probably not gonna be weekly. But
when's the pitch notes for gameplay?
I literally just saw the tweet. Alex retweeted it. Let me go to his page.
There's been a couple of news, gameplay trailer and stuff, but honestly, I've not looked at anything or read anything.
Yeah, it's just
the gameplay trailer is not worth talking about.
No.
But they announced like the upcoming pitch notes. It says, they just tweeted out the picture of pitch notes, upcoming feature news, and they do like the gameplay, pro clubs, career mode, Ultimate Team, and Volta. So like that big stretch. So we'll definitely do episodes on all of those. Well, it says it's like 2 to 5 days between each category, so maybe it'll be like an episode, an episode for 2 categories, or something like that. We'll talk about then. But and like I said, either next week or the week after, we'll really dive into our wish list for FIFA 22. And we'll prepare more. Like I said, I just want to do something quick here today to get an episode out to say like where we've been, what we've been doing. We have not just given up and just said like fuck it for the laziness. We've had a lot going on, and we just haven't played FIFA. So, but I really truly am looking forward to FIFA 22. Nep just started his like PC to glory. I don't know if you saw that. I haven't watched it. I actually haven't watched a ton of FIFA content. It's kind of weird. I even saw it.
Me either, man.
I just happened to be on YouTube and I saw episode 1. I was like, oh, what is this? And he's doing like a brand new like Road to Glory now. on the PC like he did last year, but he waited purposely this year to be longer, so it's like the end of July, and like literally the nostalgia slash like want to like log into the game of just seeing like the loading screen of like a brand new account was like crazy. So I'm definitely hyped for FIFA 22.
I'm looking
at least to get
forward
on
to
it.
I just hope I'm going to enjoy the game, but I don't know what approach I'm going to take next year, but we'll see. Just
Yeah.
get my hand on the game.
Well,
try
I
it.
mean, you're not going to be competitive, and you're not going to
Oh,
try to
no,
do anything
no,
competitive
no
because that's
chance.
on PlayStation exclusively, right? So
If
that's
it's
already
yeah,
out.
true.
nothing's 100% confirmed yet, but that is the rumor. Yeah, I
It
don't
makes
think they can
honestly,
do that. Like half
I've-
the people that want to play competitive FIFA can't even get a PS5.
I know because of the chip shortage. That's true too. They're still sold out everywhere locally here.
Yes,
They haven't been in stock in months.
I was
did
talking to
have
someone
one.
who was still looking for one.
I did have one for a day, PS5, but then I sold it on because
Yeah, I gave mine away actually.
I needed the money. I've got an Xbox now, stupidly enough.
Yeah, I have one as well.
but,
Like
yeah.
I think we all have the Series X, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've actually have 2 Series X's, and then the PS5 I gave away to a friend his son was dying for it, and I was like, I'm not using it. It's just collecting dust, and I just gave it to him.
Yeah, that's a very noble thing to do, sir.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's like, okay, if I sold it, what am I gonna make? Like $100, $200? Yeah, it's just like,
off of what you originally paid for.
yeah, I'd rather do something nice for someone I know for
Yeah.
10, 15 years.
Yeah. So we definitely have a lot to talk about with FIFA 22 wish lists. Like we said, like we've already kind of hinted at stuff that they've announced. Like the competitive stuff, like the game modes. We'll dive in that deeper. Like I said, we'll try to get a couple guests on throughout the summer, being like how they liked FIFA 21. Like Alex has been pretty open about like what he's been experiencing since going full time. So we'll definitely have him back on to kind of talk about that and like what's his full time look like for FIFA 22. Like get back into coaching and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Please leave a like, subscribe, let people know we're back if you knew people that listened. I'm interested to see like how many people just kind of like get the automatic notification, listen. We'll obviously be tweeting about us, so follow us on there. All the links will be down in the description below to the Twitters. Follow us there, and like I said, if you did enjoy, we'll see you next time.
See ya.